Thank you very kindly for staying with us. You are watching The Verdict, coming to you live from the headquarters of Channels Television in Lagos. In the course of the break, you saw some kind of animation there giving a sense of how the voting experience is supposed to be. And that's what we'll be talking about in this final lap of this broadcast. Gentlemen, let's talk about voter education, voter apathy, and the effort of INEC in educating voters towards this election. Just about a week ago, to be fair, news came that you had to use the index finger rather than the thumb. A lot of people felt that came rather too late. How would you appraise voter education leading up to this election?
I think that, INEC is doing its best to continuously conduct voters' education. In any case, that's part of its core functions, to conduct voters' education and civic education. And that's a statutory mandate that INEC has been given. And I think that for all these past years, INEC, in concert with civil society organizations that also committed to voters' education, they've been doing the best in the circumstances.
Mr. Guya.
However, there is a challenge, in the prevailing circumstances, because now you have about 71 political parties, 90-something political parties, and 71 presidential candidates. So you then have a long ballot paper this time around that is as tall as a broom and as broad as an umbrella, right? So INEC will have to do more to educate the electorate in the circumstances, so that we won't have the incidence of many voided ballots.
I think let's see if we can also get the thoughts on the voter education there from our guest, Dr. Sam Amadi. What can you tell us about, from your experience, are we really getting enough from INEC in terms of enlightening voters on what exactly, what they need to do heading to these elections?
Well, I think, we can say INEC is trying, but I don't think we're doing enough. For example, the INEC head of publicity today in another channel spoke about some of these issues around how people should vote. If you look at the ballot paper, for example, the column for voting, you have 90-something parties, and then the column for voting is smaller because of the number of parties. Therefore, the chances of a vote being void because it slips into another column is very high. So, and we are dealing with illiterate voters across the country. The second point is that, look, why should the rules change irregularly? Elections should be so prosaic, so routine, standardized, so that not just INEC, but even local government council, government agencies at different levels, state governments, can own voter education. So what we see is that in every election, there's changes are too many. And therefore, INEC will have to struggle to communicate, just like you're doing on your television now, showing different stages. But we need to now develop standard procedures that don't change about election. And that brings issue about the number of parties that we have. I've argued that, like elsewhere, INEC should set up strong threshold. For example, why should anybody be running for national elections if you don't have about 2%, 3% of electorates subscribing you to the ballot? Even in the US, you have the third party only showing up when there's a 5% voter subscription. That means if you get to this percentage, you're on the ballot. So we need to really rejig the process. INEC is a regulator, and the court doesn't help. All these decisions that make INEC look like INEC has no authority. INEC should own the election. INEC should have the right to not register a political party if you don't make clearly established criteria, not the criteria of offices and all that. So the point I'm arguing is that, look, we need to have a standard process for elections so that voters' education will not just be INEC. People can plug and play. Local government councils can, with INEC standards, say, look, new voters, this is the way to go. You can be sure that today, tomorrow, if the election holds, maybe in a couple of hours, as we're expecting, many people, INEC has to still be teaching people right there at the polling booths how to do it. So two problems. One is we have too many revisions. We are reinventing every time, because our elections are not standardized. And we start too late. You see, up until 2 weeks or 3 weeks, the guidelines were not out. Now, rumor about printing with the index or with the thumb now kicking up, INEC has to say no. This. So we are actually, it's like a moving object. Close to the day, we are now bringing new rules. So if you ask me, INEC is doing well, but INEC has set for itself a difficult task and is now trying to struggle to catch up with a moving vehicle. But the best way should have been is clear how to vote. Before the election, 2 years, 3 years before the election, everybody knows how to vote, where to vote, so that it's not a case of revisions every time, creating a lot of distortion in the system because you are acting as if an election is only when election is due, INEC triggers, INEC becomes operational. I think we should have a standardized routine election, even to be administered by local government areas with INEC standardization all over the world. People walk in and vote and walk away. I do know, like GGT said, that Nigerians' desperation for power. I agree with the two experts on security. We need to now start reducing security. In fact, elections will be more credible, even with less security, because oftentimes the crisis is because people use security to, intimidate others and create problems. Can we just try to make election civil, simple, and then it's something like a franchise? People can plug it in the local government and execute it.
All right, Mr. Sam Amadi, let's get some reaction to the issues that you have raised concerning this. He said two things. He said the election should be routine and that we should use less security. But then we need to develop these processes.
Probably use less security, with where officers are armed to the teeth.
Where do we stand in the midst of all these? Yes, he's made valid points, but then we know that there are gaps in our operations. Year after year. You're a security consultant. People have been raising concerns about seeing security forces in the election premises. How do you react to some of the points that he has raised?
Well, actually, that is not expected to be the game plan because due to the uprising of crime, that is why you see most election being projecting more security people on the election day. But my position is very clear. When it comes to election period like this, we should be looking at lesser security if we have an effective sensitization processes whereby we educate the electorate on the need not to sell their votes, on the need to protect their votes. Because why people are committing electoral fraud is simply because there are no deterrence measures in place. Our deterrence measures here in Nigeria is very, very slim. What I'm trying to imply is this: there is no
deterrence measure or deterrence implementation, because we have the laws, don't we?
Okay. Yes, we have the laws, but what I'm talking about is this. Now, what about the reward? I commit a crime, or you get me selling my vote. What are the reward? Those are the deterrence measures, because we have what we call specific deterrence measures and general deterrence measures. When I commit a crime during an election day, peradventure I sell my votes, I should be given a stiff reward that will send a general deterrence to the public.
All right. Sorry to cut you short there, but I'm told that our correspondent Gloria Ume is still right there at the INEC headquarters in Abuja. Let's check with her. Let's touch base with her to see if there are any updates. Gloria.
Well, thank you, Kayode. We're still here in front of the building, the INEC headquarters. We're still not been allowed inside. It's been over 1 hour since we have been waiting, tiring to know what exactly is going on. We understand there is a meeting, but no one can confirm that. I actually spoke with a security guy who drove off a moment ago. He confirmed that there actually is a meeting going on, but that is still being, he wasn't definite about that information. So he told me that the meeting is going on, which is usual according to him, but whether it's about a postponement or not, he didn't tell. We're just here waiting to see if any INEC official will, eventually come out and tell us something or give us more details about what we need to know. In any case, it's less than 24 hours, and the speculation is still strong about whether or not elections will hold. Kayode.
All right, Gloria Ume is okay. They are giving us what she knows. I mean, that's all she can tell us because press people are not allowed into whatever meeting that they're having. But Nigerians are waiting. Some have gone to bed. INEC knows how to reach the rest of Nigerians on whatever resolutions they have. And I believe that's the way we close the program tonight. We have to go home. But we all have means to find out whatever it is.
Exactly.
We'll be
and we can only
news,
hope it's going to be a fruitful one.
Yes, Channels TV, whatever it is, we hope that it is to the best for Nigeria. Gentlemen, we would like to say thank you for coming on the program today. We have with us Mr. GT Ogunye, a legal practitioner. He's a friend of the family. He's been with us since the last election and even through the course of the last 4 years. Mr. Nnamdi Ukamba, a legal practitioner, he was in the studio with us much earlier. Mr. Dixon Osage is a security consultant. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Dr. Sam Amadi, a political scientist and a senior lecturer at the Department of Law, Bayes University there in Abuja. Thank you for being part of the show tonight and enriching the context and content for us tonight. And retired Army officer Cecil Eseghaigbe, thank you so very kindly for sharing your time with us and answering the call to contribute to national development and the discourse in the course of this election. And my co-anchor here.
It's really great to do this, Kayode, and definitely, like I said, we await a fruitful outcome from the meeting of the top officials there in Abuja, talking about INEC. So Nigerians really want to do this. We want to come out, exercise our civic responsibility, and let's just get it right, and I'm sure we will.
And so that's how we draw the curtain on The Verdict, a special Channels Television broadcast specifically for this election. We close the program tonight, but first thing tomorrow, 7 a.m., Chamberlain Uso, Ayo Makinde, and Millicent Walker will be here to take it up from us, and then they begin from where the story, whatever it is from INEC, begins tomorrow. Stay with Channels TV for the latest stories, the latest angles on the election. I'm Kayode Alayande. Thank you very kindly for joining the program. Bye now.